Introducing the next level of Seventh Seal Codes, the Lost St Germain Codes. These divine codes originate with Thoth and Atlantis.
Greetings and welcome back. I know that I've given you a lot of information over many videos, and some of the information comes out quite fast, but part of the reason that was the intention was because you're getting frequencies from the material, from the numbers, from the images. It's very activating. There's many people that have expressed how they feel working with the Seventh Seal material and the activation codes. Many stories that I could share, but today we're going to focus in on kind of an overview, taking a deeper look at number 9 as a way to understand the synchronicity signs. These signs and all the numbers that revolve around 9 represent a path to completion, as well as the way to ascend. Ascending consciousness is all about the frequency. The numbers represent frequencies, and because of this important message, I'm creating this video as a bit of an overview to everything we've looked at, so you can see how it all ties together and is supportive of a master code system. The understanding of this information was so important that it was encoded into our English language, and the person that encoded it left his fingerprint in a variety of places. If you're seeing this video for the first time, each one of these slides has a pillar of information beneath it that you can gain deeper clarity by viewing the other videos that exist on Patreon and YouTube. Those said there was a magic number system. Is it possible that St. Germain was accessing his higher self, Thoth? Combining geometric shapes and numbers has been done for centuries. I've stated when you put them together in the right order, magical things happen. If you've experienced the Seventh Seal, you know that the energy moves when these shapes are aligned with sequences of numbers, and those numbers have meaning. In fact, numbers were created so that we could understand frequency. Understanding the numbers and the frequencies enable us to manifest our reality. When we are aligned with our higher self, listening to the messages, following the synchronistic cues, we deepen our connection with our higher self. This is how I accessed this information. When I discovered that the words that describe our numbers actually are codified and tell a story of their own by what the phrases that define the location of the numbers reveals, evincing that certain numbers represent the central pillar. When the two pillars become one, you become more aligned with your higher self. There are many systems that have described this, and therefore the path to ascension is many. However, matching the frequency of divine consciousness becomes easier when the sequences of numbers and series of codes are aligned. It becomes much easier. That is not to say that you have to figure this out. It is being divinely orchestrated by your higher self. The numbers that show up for you as your ascending consciousness cues do so at the right time, sometimes in conjunction with other dates or equinoxes or portal openings, which happened for me. And at these times, certain numbers had more impact. I would see them more frequently. And once I had an awareness of what the numbers were, it made sense. And of course, you wouldn't know to be looking for numbers if it wasn't presenting itself. So seeing 1111 on the clock could just be the beginning. And so the numbers that add up to 9 are more paramount. Here you can see 153, which is part of the middle pillar, which is one of the biggest numbers that say when the two become one, you shall access divine consciousness, the two being the mind and the heart. So when Peter was told to have faith and throw his net in, he pulled out 153 fish. That number was encoded by Bacon when he was editing the Bible for a year because of the significance of this master code system. And the storytelling of numbers and pictures was a big thing back then, as we've talked about before, concerning isocephia, hiding wisdom in plain sight, embedding knowledge in images. We can see the fish, symbol for the Piscean age, and Jesus adding up to 153. And we have seen how the number system pops out in a variety of ways. We've taken a deeper look at the Marco Rodin material with the numbers around the torus and how certain frequencies match via numerology scientific data in our reality, such as the frequency table, where we start to see 9 popping out in a variety of ways. 153 is 9, for example. The value of each one of these color groupings is 9. We have seen that the primary 3-digit number sequences that match the number groups, such as 216, 162, any arrangement of those numbers represent that number set and point to a complete picture about 9 and Ascension. 162 has a direct correlation to the Great Pyramid, which in many ways represents the ascension of consciousness. And all these phrases, as we've seen before, add up to the number group in red, 162. The examples are numerous and can actually become kind of mind-boggling. So to keep it rather simple, the basic number triangle that has 9 little triangles within it tells the whole story and was hidden within the imagery, demonstrating a deeper knowledge of the importance of numbers existed. Evidence of this is evinced in what Sir Francis Bacon encoded within his first book. The sentences within Advanced Learning had messages encoded beneath the words. He revealed his true story as well as an understanding of these numbers. Those that spent long hours in extensive research found that he had 5 layers of messages encoded. The 5th layer was a series of numbers and sequences of numbers. It is clear he understood this because when the English language was finalized from Tudor to modern English, all these words add up to 9. All these phrases add up to 9. So all the pillars of understanding that define our reality were crafted to tell a greater story. Thus the reason this sigil is crafted in the fashion that it was. So there's a very obvious message that everything comes back to 9. 9 is completion. The number 9 also adds up to the way being the mind and the heart becoming one, upper and the lower, the inside and the outside. All these messages are evident within the Merkaba, merger of the triangles. Again, the numbers correlated with the sacred geometry telling a story hidden in plain sight. And as we've learned, the Merkaba is around all living things, including the planet. And if you've listened to my other videos, I talk about how the vertices, those points that are touching the planet, there are significant things that occur at those locations. In other words, access to higher dimensional realities occur where the math simply adds up. In many ways, it is that easy. Logical is 1 + 2 = 3. The male and the female must be in harmony and balance. This message is echoed even in the numbers themselves. So the path of 1 unfolding from source on its way to 9 for completion goes through different stages. 2 obviously represents separation. 3 is the male and the female having a child. And on we go. When we get to 7 and 8, the value within those 2 numbers echo that there must be a balance between the mind and the heart. 1122 = 33. Divine consciousness is represented by 33. Another way of looking at that, 7 is spirit, 8 is matter, So when those two join, ascension occurs. Spirit envelops matter and raising it up through an alignment with the higher frequencies. Higher frequencies represent higher dimensions. Consciousness. Following the path of my own number synchronicity led me to great understanding, discoveries pertaining to the Great Pyramids. Again, we see the number 9 echoed in 9 pyramids. When I was putting the artwork together for this video, I discovered some more profound hidden knowledge in the numbers. Hidden knowledge equals 111 in Hebrew. Gematria or gematria, depends on how you like to express that word, but nonetheless, there's so many things that popped out synchronistically. Coded light added up to 522. The silver gate alignment 1269, which matches divine source code, emphasizing the 126. Of course, all that adds up to 9. With an emphasis on 1, 2, and 6 are each 3-digit, 3-letter words, which adds up to 9. One of the underlying meanings of the silver gate is completion of the physical and raising consciousness for access to the golden gate. November 22nd, 1122. See within the transcendental nature of the Fibonacci sequence when it boils down to 1 digit by numerological compression is viewed as 24 digits. Some very interesting things happen. 369 pop out on the seed of life points, as well as the entire expression pointing to 9. And here's how. When we take the cross-section numbers and lay them out, they all add up to 9. Here's another way of looking at it. Again, emphasizing that the mathematics, when done correctly, opens higher dimensional realities. So therefore, the alignment of our own numbers to an expression of 9 leads us into higher levels of completion. Very interesting to note that the blue triangles add up to 11, and there's also a total of 11 green triangles. The 60 point that we've learned about before from the Fibonacci sequence, taking the last digit as it unfurls, repeats every 60 times. And each one of those triangles are nothing more or nothing less than these numbers repeated, points of each colored triangle, as the pentagon points are sequences of these two numbers. And the value of these two numbers are 7, 11, 9. This is also quite profound because 7 and 11 are underpinning numbers in the metamechanics of the universe that wrap around the torus wheel. That is further echoed in 1 through 9, because if you take all the odd numbers and add them up, they add up to 25 or 7, and all the even add up to 11. So all this was discovered, remembered, realized by Sir Francis Bacon, who was a master of many things, including cryptography. It is no doubt the marvelous workings of numbers intrigued him, as he devised a clever way to carry this message forward within the English language. The greatest emphasis upon all the words that describe the zodiac, from the months to the signs, the planets as well as the directions that we have seen, emphasize the message. The creation light codes, frequencies, numbers that hold together our reality. Don't forget, there's 7 colors, 7 frequencies, and 7 sounds that our manifest reality functions within, definitely suggesting we live in a divine matrix. And our personal awakening is highlighted by the numbers that tell our story. So when we align with how the universe and source creates the magnificent works of reality, these codes work through us, with us, to bring into higher vibrational, harmonious oneness. All the most divine numbers that underpin the creation formula always come back to 9. When we align with the vibrational codes of creation and the knowledge of the metamath and how it works, perfection unfolds. We realize that it all returns to the divine when it is done in love. Love is 9, and all paths in love lead to the divine. And the word divine equals 9. numbers were created so that we can understand and work with the frequency of creation. Divine Invisible Hand orchestration uses the codes and frequencies of creation to show us how to connect with our higher self. And in the process of becoming more aware of our divinity, these paths are highlighted by our numbers. Ascending consciousness occurs naturally as the codes and frequencies imprint on our DNA. As we become aware of them in the proper sequence, which the words describe, the numbers define the sequence. The cipher that reveals this is the order of the words and phrases that define 1 to 9, and the order and grouping of the words themselves. The awareness of the higher metamath codes that lead to completion are the values that add to 9, represents completion, and the word completion adds up to 9. When we follow the math of our own number signs, we find our own birthright. As co-creators confirmed, love also adds up to 711. 7 on top and 11 on the bottom, for a total of 9. All the sacred numbers of the divine story add up to 9. 72, 144, 216, 225, 432, all the major ones do.
And indeed, divine love is also 99, the highest master number.
The creation wheel of reality, the compass of 360, is a roadmap. Full circle of self-love and service to many parts as a whole. Whole equals 9. The language is made to match, so we can speak our creation into existence and make our own reality. Yet when we make it about service to others, this is when the magic happens. We are here to assist others to awaken, as we don't get to move up and on until we love whole. While 1122 may not add up to 9, it's the steps of 369, building blocks of the pyramid, that ascend to 9, matching the gate that has the strongest alignment to the central sun and the opening to higher frequencies that shift us up faster. It is a built-in trigger and was placed in the language code as a multifaceted reminder. While 1111 triggers many people, 1122 represents the next level of awakening.
May this activate more synchronicity in your life and encourage ease and grace with your higher path and purpose being fully manifest before you. Ever the more so. Thank you so much for joining me. Mathues Imhotep. Till next time.